10th Standard Social Science, State Level Preparatory Examination, Model Key Answers. First question. Constantinople was called the gateway of European trade because it was the border for Europe, it was the portway for international sea route, it was the center of UNO, it was the center of international trade. Option D is the correct answer. It was the center of international trade. Goa became a state in the year 1987. Before becoming a state, formerly it was a colony of Portuguese, an independent state, a union territory, a part of Karnataka. A union territory. Option C is the correct answer. Russian Revolution and French Revolution have upheld the struggle for human rights, the unification movements, the cause for world wars, the cause for the Industrial Revolution. Option A, the struggle for human rights. To check a child marriage, the toll-free number to which we can call and give the information is 101 108 1089 1098 1098. Truly the whole mankind is one was declared by Pampa Ranna Janna Panna. Pampa. Silicon City of India is situated in Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Gujarat. Option C, Karnataka. Rajesh observed in his passbook that the book had levied service charges for his bank account. The type of his bank account is savings bank account, current account, term deposit account, recurring deposit account. Option B, current account. The planned economy for India was written by Sir M. Vishweswaraya, Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi, Bala Gangadhar Tilak. Option A, Sir M. Vishweswaraya. Second main, what were Diwani Adalats? Diwani Adalats were civil courts. Why did Swami Vivekananda establish Ramakrishna Mission? In order to propagate the ideals of his teacher, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Which countries signed Panchashil principles? India and China. What is division of labor? Division of labor means work being done by people depending on their interests, taste, abilities, age, expertise, skills and gender. What is the name of international airport at Kolkata? Subhash Chandra Bose International Airport. What are floods? When there is heavy rainfall and excessive melting of ice, the volume of water increases in the river leading to its overflow. This is called floods. Who is an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is an innovator of new ideas and business processes. What is a budget? The statement of estimated income and expenditure of a year prepared by the government is called budget. Question number 17. How is communalism harmful to our nation's progress? Communalism creates religious division of society, social groupism and economic antagonism. It disparate the very unity and integrity, hate philosophy among religious groups, social unrest and the ruin of life property. It spreads physical combat. Or how are disarmament treaties helpful in maintaining international peace? They control global level fear, they control insecurity, they control tension, they control war, they control arms race, they maintain peace. What are legal measures for the eradication of untouchability in India? Section 17 prohibits the practice of untouchability. The Untouchability Crime Act, Citizens Rights Protection Act, Practice of untouchability is a punishable offense. Right to equality have been guaranteed. Backward castes and scheduled castes have been provided reservation. The regulation of 1989. Or what are the remedial measures for unemployment in India? Population control, encouragement to cottage industries, agricultural development, industrial development, educational reforms, 5-year plans, encouragement to vocational education, rural development. Dayananda Saraswati played a prominent role in reviving Vedic culture. Justify. He established Arya Samaj. He emphasized that the Vedas were the source of truth and knowledge. He advised people to back to Vedas. He condemned idol worship and the caste system. He advocated that caste system should be decided based on the ability and not on the birth of the person. He rejected the innumerable meaningless practices. He encouraged widow marriage. He urged people to use Swadeshi goods. He wrote Satyartha Prakasha. He proclaimed that India should be for Indians. Any 4 points? Explain how Goa was liberated from Portuguese. Goa was under the imperialist rule of Portugal with India. The Portuguese brought in additional troops from Africa and Europe. Satyagrahis from different parts of India gathered at Goa and began a liberation movement. The Indian army intervened and took Goa under its control. Goa, which remained a union territory till 1987, became a state later on. In India, winter season is the season of least rainfall than any other season. Justify. India receives just about 2% of the annual rainfall during this season. The temperature drops to sub-zero levels. Heavy snowfall occurs. Which are the atomic minerals found in India? Uranium, thorium, beryllium, lithium. How was pre-harvesting technology not useful to the small farmers? The poor and marginal, the poor, marginal and small farmers could not utilize the high yield variety seeds, could not utilize chemicals, could not utilize fertilizers. Name the types of bank accounts: savings bank account, current account, recurring deposit account, term or fixed deposit account. Question number 25. Krishnaraja Vadiyar IV was termed as Rajashri. Explain. He was very much interested in spreading education. He abolished fees in all primary schools. He helped girls' education. He started the University of Mysore, the Indian Institute of Science, the development of irrigation. A barrage was constructed across Kaveri. New railway lines were laid. Legislative council was formed. Interest towards fine arts and encouraged musicians. Mysore became a model state. Explain how Martanda Varma controlled the Dutch power. He made the surrounding areas to oppose the Dutch. The Dutch attacked on Travancore. He captured Nedumangala and Kottarakara, wrote a strong letter to the Dutch. The Dutch declared war on Travancore. Martanda Varma's army strongly sent it back. Dutch came back to Cochin. 4 days serious battle took place at Kolachal. Finally, Travancore army had an upper hand in the battle. The Dutch suffered huge losses. There is a need for conservation of forests in India. Why? Expansion of agriculture, animal grazing, construction of roads and rail routes, irrigation projects, forest fires, mining. Hence, it is very essential to protect forests. Or there is a need for preventing soil erosion in India. Why? Soil erosion leads to accumulation of silt in the river beds, thereby causing floods. With accumulation of silt in river course, changing direction of river's course, due to accumulation of silt, the storage capacity of the reservoirs get reduced. Due to soil erosion, the volume of water percolating down gets reduced. Hence, prevention of soil erosion is essential. How does the government generate revenue from many sources? Tax revenue, direct taxes, personal income tax, corporate tax, wealth tax, stamp duty, etc. Indirect taxes, central excise duty, import export taxes, service tax, foreign travel tax, non-tax revenue, the net profit earned by the Reserve Bank of India, the net profit generated by the Indian Railways, the revenue generated by the departments of post and telecommunications, the revenue generated by the public sector industries, the revenue generated by the coins and means, various types of fees and penalties. Or how do Panchayat Raj institutions bring rural development? Enabling the rural people to participate in rural development, provide the rural community with basic facilities, employment opportunities can be provided, agricultural irrigation can be expanded, rural and cottage industries can be improved, establishment of food processing units, social and cultural activities can be encouraged, village arts and crafts will get an impetus, the rural culture will get enriched, overall development of rural areas. What characteristics should a person possess to become an entrepreneur? Creativity, innovation, dynamism, leadership, team building, achievement motivation, problem solving, goal orientation, risk taking, decision making, commitment. Or what methods should be followed to file a case in consumer court? There is no prescribed pro forma. The complaint may be a typed on or handwritten. The complaint should include the name of the person or organization should be mentioned, the particulars of the goods and the amount of loss, the bill or receipt should be enclosed. There is no fee or stamp duty for the complaint. No advocate or lawyers are required. What were the conditions of subsidiary alliance? The Indian kings had to keep the British army, the expenses of the army, and the wages of soldiers. The king had to have a British resident in his court. The king could not appoint any other European. The permission of the governor general was mandatory. The company would offer protection to the state. What are the aims and objectives of the UNO? To maintain international peace and security, to develop friendly relations among nations, to establish faith in fundamental human rights, to achieve international cooperation in solving international problems, to establish justice and respect for international obligation, to function as a center for harmonizing the actions of nations. Explain the reasons for child marriage practices in India. Gender discrimination, lack of education, lack of proper implementation of law, poor implementation and legal provisions in school education, lack of participation on the part of community and general public in the implementation. Name the neighboring countries of India: Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives. Britain could not have fought the Second World War powerfully without the support of India. Justify. Indian resources and soldiers aided the Allies in winning the war. England utilized the agrarian products and industrial goods for the war. The ordnance factories upgraded their technology and expanded volume of output of war related industrial goods. Quantitative qualitative development of weapons somewhat raised the readiness of the Indian troops during the latter part of the Second World War. The techniques of small war which the Indian army had learnt in northwest frontier ended it while combating Italians in East Africa. Intensive training and combined arms techniques enabled the Indian army to drive back Irvin's Rommel's Africa Corps. The participation of the Indian army in defeating the German army armed forces during Second World War is a high watermark in Indian military history. Question number 34. The British land revenue system brought a great change in Indian agriculture. Justify. A new class of zamindars was created. The farmers who were subjected to the exploitation of the zamindars, land became a commodity. Loans could be raised by mortgaging the lands. Many zamindars also had to mortgage their lands. The agriculture sector became commercialized. The money lenders became strong. Or extremists played a prominent role in the freedom movement of India. Justify. Extremists called the moderates as political beggars. Extremists criticized the moderate thinking. Arvind Ghosh, Lal Bal Pal were the extremist leaders. Tilak declared Swaraj is my birthright and I will get it any cost. An independent India was the aim of extremists. They started preparing the common people. Through religious functions, they started organizing people. Tilak utilized his Kesari and Maratha newspaper. Explain the military and economic causes for the first war of Indian independence. Military causes. The situation of Indian soldiers in the British army was very pathetic. They did not have the status, salary, and promotion. The pressure put on Indian soldiers for overseas work triggered resentment. Economic causes. Indian cottage industry suffered due to industrial revolution. The Indian craftsmen became unemployed. The textile and wool industries became sick. The British imposed a heavy tax. The landlords exploited the farmers. The right given to the taluks to collect tax was withdrawn. An Inam commission was appointed. The farmers felt insulted and experienced many financial problems. Mention the measures taken to improve the status of women in India. Women and Children Development Department, Health Education and Social Status, Women Education, Child Marriage, Dowry Prohibition, Stree Shakti Program, Loan and Subsidy, Mahila Mandalas, Yuvati Mandalas, Stree Shakti Organization, Commission at national and state level, the reservation for women from Panchayat to Parliament. In Karnataka, already 33% reservation. In government jobs, women reservation. How is cultivation of paddy different from cultivation of wheat? Paddy, about 25 degrees Celsius temperature, 100 to 200 centimeters of annual rainfall are necessary for the growth of paddy. Fertile alluvial soil and clay soil is most suitable for the cultivation of paddy. It requires standing water till the crop is ready for harvesting. Hence, flat land is required. Wherever rainfall is less, irrigation is necessary. Wheat needs 10 degree to 15 degrees Celsius temperature, 50 to 70 centimeters annual rainfall for its growth. Wheat grows well in sand, mixed clay and black soil. Draw an outline map of India and mark the following: Bombay High, Guwahati, Salem, Coromandel Coast. A. Bombay High, B. Guwahati, C. Salem, D. Coromandel Coast. Alternative question for visually impaired candidates only. Mention the main aims of the multipurpose river valley projects: providing irrigation facility, production of hydroelectric power, prevention of floods, creating facility for water transportation, providing water for domestic and industrial use, preventing soil erosion, developing fisheries, enhancing forest wealth.